Hello everyone. We're gonna get started soon. Maybe not at the 2-minute mark like I usually do, maybe at like the 3 or 4-minute mark, because right as soon as I press live, as I press start streaming, my cat made those noises, those throw up noises. So I cleaned it up already, but I cleaned it up and it was just like, that was the moment I pressed start streaming. I hear it. If you have cats, you know the sound. You know the what? Like that sound. Yeah, he's fine. The throw up is all cleaned up. He's fine. But give me a second to just mentally get ready, physically, etc. And then we'll get started pretty soon. Alright, let's go ahead and get started then. Let me go ahead and go to my hand cam scene. What? Where'd it go? Okay, cool. Okie dokie. So, let's get right into things. I feel like I should have an intro by now. Wait, let me just make sure that... Let's see, my mic is picking up. Plus, let's put on some music. I'm going with something a little bit different today. A little bit of Miami Vice. Hopefully this is stream safe. It says royalty free, but we'll see. Hi Sushi. Hello. They put on some music. There you go. Hello. Okay, so we're gonna keep on doing some POSCA marker art today. I have here... Oh! Grub bear, yes! I hit the camera accidentally, but yeah. Actually, this music's a little too loud on my side. There we go. Or maybe put it up on this end. Let me know if that's too loud, but... but yeah, we got Grub Bear today as part of our Peachtober, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I don't know if I'm gonna make it to the end of Peachtober in terms of drawing, like drawing every single day. I shouldn't have phrased it that way, that sounds so ominous. I don't know if I'm gonna make it to the end, y'all. But in terms of like drawing, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to actually draw all the prompts. Because I didn't have enough time to sketch. I still only have the sketches up until Citrus over here. But we'll see. I've just been busy with work, but I should be getting a break with work tomorrow. I'm actually a little tired today from a work event. It was a really fun work event. But oh man, it took a lot out of me. I commuted to the site, and a little thing about me is that I don't drive. I have a license actually, but I just haven't driven in a while, and I just use the public transportation. But the transportation in my area kind of sucks. So, yeah. So, any day that I have to go to like either a school site or the office, I do come back home kind of tired, but I still wanted to stream today because I just really enjoy streaming and chatting with y'all. But if I'm a little low energy, you might know that might be why, but still, I wanted to at least get some POSCA bears drawn and marked up. But yeah, today I have a little bit of, or tomorrow rather, I have a little bit of a work break. I'll be working from home. So I'll actually be able to... Wait, Randon's not even streaming tomorrow. Wait, is it, right? Tomorrow's Tuesday. It's okay, because I could still catch all my other faves. All my other favorites. Especially those in Southeast Asia or Japan or Australia time. Yeah, break day. So yeah, I'll be able to catch some of the streams, especially I don't know how many of you had caught the debut for Matara Khan. Man, man, I already love her so much. I'm pretty excited to catch more of her stuff, and she streams at 3 o'clock my time, so pretty excited. But yeah, I was talking about my day, but any folks in the chat, how have your days been going? I have like a question prepared for for folks, but once I get a little bit more into the draw and flow. Oh, it's also kind of hot, so I actually might take a pause right here and just turn on the fan. So, I'll be back in a second. Okay, back. Let me know if you guys hear the fan. If you hear the fan, and also it's looking like my YouTube music isn't really coming out that much. Let me put it up a little bit more. There you go. Sushi, you're just starting with work. Do you do work from home, or are you listening from like wherever your respective workplace is? Because like I find that actually sometimes I can listen in when I'm at the office. It's just that I get distracted very easily. Or not distracted. I wouldn't call it distracted because it's work, but like, you know, when my coworkers are like, "Hey there, pal. How you doing? How you doing, Babinka?" Then and everyone's really nice. They wouldn't call me out on like watching a stream at work. It's very lax where I am. But I just get very distracted easily. From home, nice. Yeah, I definitely, it depends sometimes. Do you find yourself a bit more like, I guess, productive work-wise when you're at home, or do you find it more productive if you're, or actually I'm making assumptions. I don't know if your work is like completely at home or if your work also like has a in-person component to it, but I have like such a mixed bag experience. Sometimes it's easier for me to get work done when I'm at home, but there's also so many distractions like the neighbor kids are too noisy, or like there's dogs, or like I don't know, sometimes there's distractions like that. And in that case it's better to work at the office. But even at the office, sometimes like other things get in the way there, like coworkers wanting to chit chat, wanting to chisme, all of those things. Or it'll be someone being like, "Oh, let's go get lunch," and like even though I'm full, I'll be like, "Okay, yeah, I'll go get lunch," because it's part of the culture, I suppose. You work remotely mostly, but you work very fast. It's going through work in the mornings and then lazing. Me too. Just like me, for real though. Like I also get a lot of my work done like early, and sometimes I actually start my work day pretty early. Like 7 a.m. like my time, even though like I not legally, but like my boss is like, don't start work until like 9. My boss is very like kind. He's very nice because he's very much like an artist at heart. So when it comes to managerial stuff, he does it very well. He's a good manager, but at heart, you know, he doesn't want to be that guy that's like, "Oh, you better be working like all your hours." Now instead he's like, "Yeah, take a break." In fact, there are times where like I'm supposed to come into the office usually every Wednesday, but sometimes like I'm not feeling it, or maybe the work that I have to do that day is just more convenient for me to do at home. So I'll tell my boss like, "Oh, is it okay if I work from home?" And the funniest thing is he's always just like, "Yeah, go ahead. In fact, I'm also gonna work from home." And I'm like, "Okay, cool, you do you," but he's a pretty nice guy in that regard. But it's also pretty funny where he's like, "You know what? If you're working from home, I'm also gonna work from home." Yeah, you also miss office mates? Yeah, that can also be a mixed bag because I consider myself very fortunate with the coworkers that I have. All of us are kind of on the same wavelength in terms of I'll just say like, you know, politics or just like being more I guess the buzzword is woke. But like everyone where I work is very much like in the same wavelength in that regard. So we never encounter people that are like super racist or like or that say things that are super like out of pocket. Usually everyone's really good on that. But sometimes like of course, no matter where you go, personalities are gonna clash, right? So it doesn't matter if every single person at your job is woke. Sometimes someone's just a bitch. And sometimes people want to cheese me about it. We do meet here and there for work events and stuff, but I'm mostly in my own lane because I'm the youngest in the company. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's also a really interesting dynamic too, because like I've always been the oldest in like my friend group, the oldest in like my generation of my family. Wait, I'm gonna shake this a little more because I keep on running out of paint. Yeah, I'm very used to being the oldest, like in like friend groups, family, like generations, like among my cousins. I'm always the oldest. But at work, I'm the youngest, like, or one of the youngest rather. I'm one of the youngest, so people like, you know, let me push. Okay, there we go. People like to not baby me, but I guess like I don't know, cause baby sounds like baby sounds bad. But sometimes they is it bad if I say like sometimes they let me get away with like more things. Because I'm the youngest and like I'm not even that new at my job, but it's stuff like I'll tell my boss like, "Oh, I have anxiety when it comes to making phone calls. Can you make phone calls for me?" And he tolerates it because for one, if it's not a phone call, if it's an email, I'm really good at communicating in my opinion. I could be completely wrong, but I think I'm pretty good with like communicating to like our clients and such through email. But sometimes the client wants phone, and I get a little bit of anxiety. So my boss does it for me, but he's always very like, yeah, of course I'll do it for you. So I'm baby. They won't do that to me because I'm part of the head of department. Ah, so you're in a high position. Young compared to most of the employees. Ah, I see. That's an interesting dynamic, yeah. Yeah, when it's like you're young, but you're also like, you know, hierarchically you kind of also like command that presence, I guess. But yeah. Oh yeah, speaking of work, oh no, I accidentally got a little bit on my fingy or my wrist. I had a pretty, I think I mentioned that I was tired because I had a work event today, and it was because I was working with without doxing myself. I always like I'm trying to toe the line between like what I can tell you all about work, but typically I work with how do I say this? In the United States, it's sixth grade, so it's like that's the question I wanted to ask folks. Like, to use to share anyone else in the chat. Like how do I guess when you're in school, we have like grade systems, right? So like grade 1, grade 2, grade 6, and I think in other places it's like year 1, year 2, year 3. So like how does it work for folks in the chat? Like your school, what's it called? Like how you progress through school. Cuz like in America it's like you start at technically kindergarten, but you could start earlier. Like people like parents will put their kids in daycare when they're still babies, but then they'll do something called like when I was growing up it was called preschool, but I've been seeing lately people call it pre-K. So like pre-kindergarten. And then kindergarten and then first grade, second grade, third grade, all the way up until 12th. And then in high school we have funky names that you see in like American movies, but I'm always curious like how it is in other parts of the world. And then even in America, actually, it differs because for me, I grew up, you know, kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, that's all elementary school. And then you graduate, or rather you culminate, and then you go to middle school. Middle school is 6, 7, 8. Yeah, grade 6, 7, 8. And then you graduate and you go to high school. But different places in America will have different divisions for when middle school starts. Because I think, for example, in some parts, 6th grade is still elementary school. And then it is until 7th grade, which, for a little bit of reference, that's when you're going through puberty. So yeah, like 7th grade, that's when like middle school starts for different parts. Hello, Vortical. Welcome, welcome. A POSCA art person. So rare to see. Oh, is it really? I kind of like these. This is like the easiest medium for me to do on stream because that's another thing too. I was cleaning out. I was doing a deep clean of my room today. not today. Yesterday. I found a lot of art mediums. So, but Posca's most convenient for me. But welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining us. Feel free to chill with us. I'm doing some bears, doing some Peachtober bears. Hello, Grace. Hello. Pascas look so yummy. And I was just asking the chat some questions about how school works wherever y'all are from, because I was talking about like, we in America we have like elementary school, middle school, high school, and that's grades 1 through 12. And now I'm reading Sushi. Nursery at 4, preschool 5, 6, elementary at 7, high school at 13. High school at 13. College at 17? Oh my god, no middle school, but that's a recent thing. I heard about that. I heard about that. I have like groups of friends that are either they're from the Philippines or like they still are in contact with. Hey, Mega Bronson. Hello. But wow, high school at 13. Wait, high school at 13. In America, you have to okay, if you take away 5, that's how you get the. If you take away 5 from the age, that's how you get the grade level. That's how I usually do the math. So 13 minus 5, 8th grade. Oh, that's not too bad. So, yeah. High school is 4 years for us. Yeah, same here. High school's 4 years for us in the US as well. Mega Bronson, you were 12 when you started? How old was I? How old was I when I started? I know that I was 19 when... Oh, thank you for the follow. Who is that? Amaskies? Or Amaskis? Let me know how to pronounce it. But thank you for the follow. But yeah, I know I was 19 when I graduated high school. Or was I? Huh? Now I'm confused. Hello, Short for Lizard. Thank you for the follow. In Australia, it's kindergarten when you're like 4, preschool when you're 5, 6 to 11 for primary. Oh, I can call you Amma? Awesome. Hello, Short for Lizard. Hello. Then 6 to 11 for primary, grades 1 through 6, and then high school is age 12. Do you have middle school in Australia? Or is it just primary to high school? Let me see. High school is age 12 to 17. Yeah, oh, 7 to 12. Okay. So it looks like you don't. Yeah. IMAU middle school is a made thing for private school kids. Oh, interesting. Ah. Now they sometimes divide middle school with high school, but they're not separate schools. Ah. Actually, it should be the same for Beans and I because of our birth months. Are you also October, Mega Bronson? Wait, what's your birthday? It's October right now. Like, wait a minute. Oh, that's interesting though. Like, yeah, I've heard like, it's different. Well, of course it's different in different parts of the world, but like I said, even in America, like we have middle school in between elementary and high school. Wait, let me decide on a color here. Maybe let's do brown. Or is there a lighter brown? Yeah, this brown. Yeah, we have middle school, and that's so the whole reason why I brought it up is because that's the age group I work with. I work in education, but I don't work with one classroom, and that's all I'll say about that. I work with middle schoolers typically. So these are 6th and 7th graders, so they are usually age 11 to 12. So that's what I'm used to. That's what I'm used to. Mega Bronson just with the smiley. Like at my high school, they had a middle school captain for grades 8 and 9. It would be 7 to 9, but I'm old in grade 7. Oh, okay. And yeah, it changes, right? It changes like throughout time. UK's nursery 5 to 12, primary 12 to 7 to secondary school. Oh, okay. This is really interesting. It seems like a good chunk of the I was gonna say a good chunk of the world, but at least for those who answered, it seems like middle school isn't really that much of a thing, usually. Unless it's like a recent addition, right? That's what I'm gathering. That like if it is, it's like either a recent addition or it's like a part of high school. Oh no, my cat's making the sounds again. I'm gonna mute. Okay, I'm back. My cat was making. If any of you are cat owners, you know that like when they throw up. I'm trying to find like a good euphemism for it, but I'll just say throw up. Like, you know that telltale sound, and like, or you know that it's like more or less normal for them to throw up as long as it's not like on the daily. But like today, is my cat was making those noises. So I was like, oh no, not again. But he's fine. He's fine. I think he's chilling. Poor guy. You do get private middle schools in the UK, but I think they go from 6 to... Oh! For us, that would just be high school then. Or like a mix. Like, it'd be a mix of like middle high school. Interesting. Yeah, so the reason I bring that up is because, yeah, like I said, I usually work with 11 to 12-year-olds, and for a little bit of context, a little bit more detail, it's art. I usually work with them with art. And like other things. But today I had a special work event. I'm just trying to get like some of the pieces off here. For this work event, I worked with 5th graders, and that is 10-year-olds. And like I didn't realize how different I didn't realize how different I guess like a class can be, like in a matter of just in a matter of a couple of years. It's so like okay, so let me rewind. I'm very well acquainted with the difference between 6th and 7th graders. So that's like 11 and 12-year-olds. Because like when you're in 6th grade here, that's when like kids are still kind of like they're beginning middle school, so like they're no longer in elementary school, and some people have started to go through puberty, but not all of them. But like for the most part, a lot of kids are very excited to be in class. Okay, not for the most part, but like the trend that I tend to notice since I work with a lot of classes is that like kids tend to be like a little bit more excited to share, especially if you're like me and I'm a guest teacher. I'm a guest in their classroom. So if I'm not their usual teacher, I'm a guest. Usually they're a little bit more excited. They're like, oh, cool, something different. Woo! So that's what I usually get from 6th graders. 7th graders, they're starting that's the age where they're starting to become too cool for school. So like they're a little less responsive, and of course there's still students that are like a little bit more into it. They're like, oh cool, we have a guest teacher, we're gonna be doing some artwork. Some of them are like that, but for the most part, a lot of them are just like, oh okay, whatever. And then 8th grade, that's 8th grade onward to like high school, that's when they're completely like, with exceptions of course, that's when they're kind of like, okay, whatever. Whatever, man. So that's what I was used to. I'm used to like that difference between 6th and 7th grade. from like 11 to 12-year-olds. Today I worked with a younger age group and I was so not used to that energy because they were so excited. They're like, oh my gosh, are you the guest teacher? What are we gonna do today? And then like every time I like said something, they'd like all of their hands would go up immediately and they'd be like, oh, what do you do at this place? And what are we gonna do today? And like there's one part of our lesson where we wear gloves, and as soon as I brought them out, they started like not cheering, but they just seemed so excited. I'm like, it's gloves. It's it's just gloves. Thank you for the follow, Vortical. But yeah, I just was not used to that. Let's see. One of my best friends is a primary teacher, but mostly 7 to 11-year-olds. She doesn't like the too young or too old kids. Yeah, it's interesting because like I've worked with different age groups before. One of my first teaching gigs, I taught like pretty much all the age groups from like kindergarten, which is like baby age, like primary school to high school or secondary. So I've taught all of them, but it was like a summer gig and I would only see them like once a week. So that was kind of bearable. Get it? Bear? Even though like you can't see the design. um but yeah, it's interesting to see how like kids are at the different age groups, how students are at the different age groups, because like I feel like if you ever go into teaching for like super young kids, like kindergarten to, you know, primary school, um it's almost like you either have to be extroverted or you have to be like a performer. You have to it does feel like you know, being a stage performer, because you kind of have to be like you kind of have to, or at least in my style of teaching, I don't mean to generalize because everyone has different teaching styles, but in my style of teaching, especially for younger kids, I do tend to be like, what do you think this is, kids? Like, how's everyone's day? Like almost like a kids TV show. Oh, I'm messing up on the outlines here. Like a kids TV show host, like Steve from Blue's Clues or Dora the Explorer. What do you think is gonna happen today? Yeah, and like it kind of reminds me of how apparently there are certain actors who are more so introverted, but they hide it really well because they're actors, or like acting is kind of a way for them to play a different person essentially, so that they don't have to be like their shy introverted self. They could perform something else, if that makes sense. I've heard it with a famous actor, but I don't want to say his name because he has since become very problematic. But yeah, like there are certain actors that are a little bit more like introverted, but they can act. I don't know, like I think it's because they're introverted they can become good actors because of the performance aspect. When training, you have to do a mix of all years, and she hated the first 2 years for primary. Yeah. Definitely. You have to have so much energy because whenever I taught that age group, like I had to knock out after. Like I had to go to bed after, like, or take a nap. It's so much because I'm introverted. It might not seem like it with the way that I talk, or maybe it does seem like it. But I actually consider myself very introverted. It's just that when I socialize and when I like do big like things like perform for a bunch of students, I really need some rest afterwards. Public speaking is pretty much, yeah, it is performing. You at LARP? Yeah. Shine like regular social situations, but dressed up as a silly elf so it's easy to talk. Yes! I completely agree. I think that's what it is. Like, you're essentially like, yeah, you're like playing a character. You're dressed up. So you don't have to like feel a sense of like, oh, everyone's gonna judge me. Because it's like, well, if I'm already dressed up as an elf, like, I think we're past the point of caring about whether people judge me or not. Or it's even like in a LARPing environment, like everyone else is like presumably like-minded, right? Like you're not gonna judge me for LARPing because you're also LARPing. Like I know what I'm doing here. What are you doing here? So yeah, that's kind of my spiel on like teaching styles and and the performance aspect of it. I do love teaching though. It's the perfect job if you I forgot where the fingers are now. Here? Oh no. Forgot what the original sketch looked like. But yeah, the performance aspect of it. Oh no, did I? It's okay. I can cover this up actually. Teachers do amazing work. I don't know how you can do it, but I respect that you do. Thank you, Vortical. Thank you. That's where I was getting to. Oh, my cat's chilling next to me. What I was getting to is, if you're the kind of person that's always like, well, actually, or the kind of person that likes to, like, I don't know, explain certain things. For one, like, it's definitely worth it to learn how to do it in a respectful way. Oh no, I completely messed up the fingies. How did it look before? Oh well, I can fix it. The good thing about POSCA is that you can easily cover it up, right? It's like acrylic paint. Yeah, I think I really like teaching because it gives me an opportunity to like okay, the shallowest part of it, the way that like I got into teaching is that I love explaining things, and like it's almost like I can't even say mansplaining because I don't identify as a man, but I just like, you know, explaining certain things. And that was kind of like my doorway into teaching, was like, oh, I love talking about like mythology. Like that's what got me into like teaching history. It was like Greek and Egyptian mythology. And now you're telling me I could do that for a living? Dang. And of course it's not that easy, right? Like if you're into mythology, you could get into teaching ancient history, but then you have to know like other things about ancient history that might not be like as engaging. Like you might have to learn about like warfare, and that might not be your cup of tea. Then you have to take all these, or at least in America, you have to take like these exams to like even get certified as a teacher. It's either that or you work for a private school and like they don't need certification, but they also don't always support you. So, now I don't mean to say it like that. That's a generalization, but like in my experience, it's either like you get a job at like a legit place, but they need some kind of certification and you have to take all these exams. Or you get a job at a place that doesn't require it, but they don't always support you, or at worst, and this has happened to me, at worst, it's just straight up a scam. Like, it's just straight up, like, a scam to you as a teacher, as an educator, it's a scam to the parents that enroll their kids, and it's a scam to the students. And, you know, thanks to trusty old NDAs, I can't elaborate that much further, but, like, but they definitely exist. And, like, the definite tip-off is, at the certain job that I got for teaching, they told me that they actually prefer that our teachers are not credentialed because we want them to be a bit more open to our way of teaching, to our, like, insert name here, like our teaching culture. And like that should have been a tip off like right away. I was like, actually, we don't want you to learn about like pedagogy and theory, which, you know, you can argue that like that's not always as useful either. If you don't know what pedagogy is, it's basically like the theory of teaching. You know, and like I mentioned before, there are a bunch of different ways that people teach. People all have different styles. But pedagogy is pretty much that discussion. It's kind of like my degree was in history, and there's this thing called historiography, which is like the study of studying history. And it's like, what the heck does that mean? Well, I'll tell you what it means. It means that it's basically like, it's something that like started out very boring for me, and I'm scared that if I try to explain it, it'll come out as very boring, but I'll do my best to explain that like it's basically how history as a discipline has been seen throughout history. So for example, like if you look at ancient Greece, or like a lot of ancient civilizations, their way of teaching history like sometimes was very much intertwined with mythology. Like mythology or like folk legends. So like, you know, the founding of Rome wasn't like some dude like came into power and founded the city of Rome. It was this whole myth of Romulus and Remus. These are these twins who were raised by a she-wolf, and eventually like one killed the other, but he wanted to like found the city in his name. And like, you know, so certain parts of that seem very like, I don't know if that actually happened, but that's kind of like, you know, the founding myth of like Rome. It's very much intertwined with like mythology or folklore. um and then once you get later on, history becomes like the story of like the story of the victors, or the story of like legendary people. So like Alexander the Great. Uh-oh, I don't know any others. Plato. Like, stuff like that. And that's the emphasis, is like great people in history. And it's only till later when people become interested in like, well, what was like, I don't know, what was economics like in ancient Greece? What was all that about? um I lost my train of thought. But like, you know, eventually you get into different kinds of history. So like, you know, well, now I don't care about like who are the monumental figures. Now I care more about like what's the history of arts, what's the history of like food in this part of the world. Let me shake this some more and get some POSCA ASMR. If that's your cup of tea. If not, I apologize. Yeah, it was just very interesting because when like there that's how it like shifts into different disciplines. Like, okay, what's the history of religion and religion? I need to like emphasize more. Enunciate more. I'm trying to remember what I wrote my paper on, because we had to write a paper on like historiography, and I'm pretty sure I chose the Bible. I'm not even religious, but I just thought it was interesting. Okay, so we got the grub. What color should the apron be? Or maybe I should add some shading and highlights, actually. What does this look like? Or actually, maybe I should fix those fingers real quick. Let me fix the fingers. Yeah, let me fix them fingies. How did I get to this topic? I guess like mythology. Like that's how I got like mythology, and explaining mythology is how I got into teaching. And I still love talking about it. It's like half of my job is to like go over like Egyptian mythology. Not really Greek and Roman. It's mostly Egyptian and mythology of the Americas, which is like the term that we use, but like it's mostly like Aztec and Maya. So those are like, I want to say my fortes, but I fear saying that because like I always fear that I'm going to misspeak and like generalize, and then people are gonna be like, actually, no, you're wrong. And like, I guess more specifically, people of that culture, like people who actually are Maya or who like have like Aztec or Nahuatl like ancestry. I'm scared that they're gonna be like, well, not only is that incorrect, but it's like insensitive of you to say so. But we try our best. And also like, that's an anxiety I have, but to this day that's never been something that actually happens. Like, always fun to hear what people are passionate about. Thank you. Thank you. Super passionate about stuff like history, mythology, folklore. I even have like a I'll really quickly go to my just chatting screen right now. I have like possible chat topics. The next time I ever want to do I've never done a just chatting stream. It's always been art disguised as a just chatting or sorry, a just chatting stream disguised as an art stream, or like a peaceful like video game stream that's actually a just chatting stream. But these are stuff that I'm like, yeah, I would want to talk about some of these things. These are some of like my fortes, or stuff that I like talking about. um But for now, let's go back to the hand cam. Oh, okay, cool. He's still there. Grub Bear is still there. Okay, what color should the apron be? I feel like the hat should be a light color. Is this white? Oh no, this is beige. Okay. There we go, got your ASMR. No. Yes. Yes to this. Yes to this color for the hat and the apron, but for the eyes, they should just be white. The paper's starting to wrinkle a little bit, which is normal. I think for me, when it comes to like the topic of mythology, like I think growing up I just appreciated them as like really cool stories, but the more I studied them, especially in college, the more it becomes like, the more you learn about like, I guess, the meta of like mythology, the more interesting it kind of became for me. And there's someone on YouTube, they're called Overly Sarcastic Productions. It's made up of two people, Blue and Red. Blue is more so he talks about history. Wait, am I getting that mixed up? And Red talks a little bit more about literature. Hello? Literature. Literature and mythology. Funny thing from the list, and a lot of primary you still learn. Oh, folk dancing! That's so cool. I got into Filipino folk dance because I joined a Filipino cultural club in college. And that's kind of like one of our biggest things every year. For a lot of colleges, at least in my area, is a Filipino folk dance show. But it's also kind of also intercut with a script portion. And that script is usually like very like, oh, this is the Filipino American experience. I forgot if I talked about this before. I think I did. I remember like I think I talked about it with Mega Bronson, but like sometimes like the topics in these scripts become so like because it's based off our experiences, right? But there's so many, you know, almost stereotypes or almost like common themes and experiences that you can make a bingo card out of the script portions for these shows. And it's always like, oh, there has to be a parent that is not accepting of their child's choice, or like and some of these are not Filipino exclusive, of course. Like what I just said is not Filipino exclusive, but like it's stuff like, oh, it's got to be dramatic like a telenovela, so like so there's got to be a slap. There's got to be a slap. There's got to be like either a Filipino parent that doesn't understand you know, their child's struggle, or not even a parent but like an elder that like doesn't understand like the younger generation's struggle. What else is new? Once again, that's another thing that's not exactly like Filipino exclusive. But yeah, that's the script portion, and then we also have like our folk dances from different parts of the Philippines, which are pretty cool. That also has a very nuanced history, very controversial history as well. But that's only if y'all want to hear about that. Yeah, what was I talking about before? So like the mythology, the meta of everything. Oh yeah, Overly Sarcastic Production. So like there's Red from Overly Sarcastic. She goes into like tropes in literature and mythology, and some of them are pretty interesting. Trying to think of a good example. This isn't from Overly Sarcastic Production, but I remember reading somewhere of like, for example, where a civilization or where a culture starts can very much influence like how their mythology develops. And one example is like, if someone is more knowledgeable about this than me, feel free to correct me, but I had heard that the gods in Mesopotamia are usually seen as like fickle or violent or like, you know, not merciful. You know, there's a lot of I don't know, like there just seems to be like it seems very tumultuous, if that's the right word for it. Whereas like gods in ancient Egypt are seen a little bit more like stable, or like Am I getting that right? So like a little bit more stable, and it's supposed to be indicative of like in Egypt you have the Nile River, which like floods every year without fail, and it's so predictable that like they would base like their calendar around it. They would base a lot of their festivals around it. So like the land itself was very stable. You could count on the land, and that's why the gods themselves are seen as like these stable figures, almost these kind and giving figures. Whereas in Mesopotamia, like the land was not as stable and like consistent, and that's why they saw their gods as like, you know, like not exactly the most stable and forgiving. Sad to say, all I know about Filipino culture is the food. That's plenty though. Like, if you've ever had Filipino food before, I hope you enjoyed it. As you can see, my POSCA markers are watery. I need to shake it, shake it. Yeah, Filipino food, like that in and of itself also has a lot of history. Because like the basics of Filipino history, or like the big swath of Filipino history that you need to know is that it is an island nation in the Pacific, and it's very like there's a lot of influence from surrounding culture, so like Buddhist, Hindu. But then the biggest things, like the saying that I've heard is the Philippines spent 300 years in the convent, 50 years in Hollywood. And what that means is that like for 300 years the Philippines was colonized by Spain, and then for 50 years after that it was colonized by the US. So we have a lot of Spanish and US influences in our culture. And you can see that with like, you know, the use of Spanish in like the Filipino language, or one of the Filipino languages at least, or a multitude of them. There's even one Filipino language, not dialect language, that is like 90% Spanish. And then the US colonization shows itself with how like prevalent English is nowadays, and the fact that you have a lot of Filipinos immigrating to America and other places, but like America is definitely like one of the top destinations. Oh, you know what? Maybe should I do this color? Yeah, I'm gonna do this color for also here. So yeah, like it's Filipino history is very much like a mixed bag of like foreign influences, as well as kind of like reactions to those foreign influences. And you see that in the food. You see that, that's where I was trying to get with this, is that you see that in the food. Because like there are dishes that like Filipinos had since before the Spaniards came, but then like they would undergo transformations, or like there's plenty of food just inspired by Spain and America. Trying to think of some good examples. There's this really cool historian slash cook slash YouTuber. Is it called Tasting History? Yeah, Tasting History. He is this really cool historian who he finds recipes from primary sources from all over history, not just the Philippines, but like all over history. So like the recipe for like Roman fish sauce. Yeah. Oh, you heard of him? Cool. Yeah. So like I believe he did an episode. Did he do an episode about adobo? I'm gonna look it up now. Tasting history. I feel like he did. I think he did a Philippines episode. Adobo. He did, yes. So he did an episode on adobo, and adobo is like this really cool dish where you pretty much like marinate your protein of choice in like a marinade. You marinate it in like soy sauce, vinegar, bay leaves, peppercorn, and then you like is it fry or simmer? Please someone correct me. Like you cook it essentially in that marinade, and it makes this really delicious dish. And then in the video, he pretty much goes over like, is this a Filipino thing or is it brought over from the Spaniards? Because like adobo comes from the Spanish word adobar. Yeah, you've had it before? It's so good. And he makes a pretty good argument that like Filipinos had their own version of the dish for a very long time, but it underwent a transformation after the Spaniards came. And the indigenous or kind of like the original version of it still exists, or like can still exist in the form of there's a dish called someone please please correct my pronunciation, but kinilao or kinilao. And it's basically that original indigenous version of adobo is more like ceviche. You've had adobo before, Grace? Oh, that makes me so happy. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. It is so yummy. And the thing is, I don't know if I'm pretty sure like other Latin American countries or Spain itself, I think they probably have their own version of the dish, but of course I'm mostly familiar with the Filipino version. But yeah, if you like tart like flavors, like, you know, vinegar, soy sauce, that kind of stuff, like if you like being punched in the face with flavor, adobo, Filipino food in general. But yeah, like the indigenous version though, the indigenous version is more similar to like ceviche. And if you never had ceviche, that's basically like raw fish, but it's been like kind of marinated in like a lime sauce. There's a lot of now that, like, you know, a lot of you are from different parts of the world, there's a lot that I want to know about, like what people have access to, because I live in a part of the US where I've had a ready access to Mexican food all my life. So I'm very used to Mexican food, and of course Filipino because I am Filipino. I have access to things like Indian food, but like that's more of like when you go into the city. I live more in like the outskirts of the city. I have to watch that episode. So he is cool to watch because like he's also a like tasting history. Max Miller, that's his name. Tasting history with Max Miller. He's also just a really good historian. Like he does his due diligence in like his resources. He one thing that I appreciate so much when he covers food from different cultures is he goes the extra mile with learning the pronunciation. Like even for a language that has very different pronunciations from like English, so like, you know, Mandarin, or I don't know if he's done like an Irish episode yet, but like he tends, from what I've seen, he goes the extra mile with learning how to pronounce it properly, and to me that just screams that he's like very respectful of the cultures that he's studying. Especially with like I think he's done a few episodes about Chinese food, and Chinese, like certain Chinese languages have tones, and other languages as well. It's not just Chinese, but like I think he tried really hard to like get the tones, and I think I've seen commenters say like it's not perfect, but like at least he's trying, you know. Do you know there was a Disney prince for years? It was COVID that made him do YouTube. Oh, he was, yeah, I think he mentioned that he like was he worked at Disneyland. Yeah. And then yeah, it was COVID that made him want to do like this series, or not made him want to do, but like it was kind of that push of like, well, I'm not doing anything else, I might as well start this cool YouTube series. To be honest, in Australia, I feel like the food options are really broad. In my immediate local area, we have, oh, cool, Thai, Indian, Vietnamese, Chinese, and Japanese food. And in the city proper, it's even broader. Okay, cool. It's the same thing here. Like I said, I kind of live in like the outs. I live in an area that you could consider kind of like, it's still within the city. It's still considered part of that city, but it's still kind of the outskirts. But yeah, no, same. We have like all the ones that you mentioned. So Thai, Indian, Vietnamese, Chinese, Japanese. One that I like want to eat more. Let me see if I get this right. I took a trip to Seattle one time and I had Ethiopian food for the first time, and oh my god, it was so good. Ethiopian food slaps. Oh, somehow I circled back to the Digimon playlist. Let me rewind and let me change the music credit. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. This is Sad Gatomon at YouTube. Yeah, like the suburbia. Yeah, I live more so there, and like the good thing is that my partner who's vegan, we have ready access to vegan food where I live. Hi, Kudaketa. Hello. I'm doing good. We're just doing a POSCA stream. We're currently talking about food and what food is like accessible to folks where from wherever they live. Vortical, you said you live 90 minutes from London, and one of the best things is the mix of foods you can get. Yeah. Yeah, it's always like the city that has like so much more access to like certain foods. Like I said, I wish I could try like I could have more Ethiopian food. Though the last time I had Ethiopian food, like I said, was in Seattle, but it was also back when I still ate meat. I'm currently pescatarian now, so I only have like I'm like pescatarian for me is like the chillest, I guess, dietary restriction because the only thing you really cut out is like red meat and chicken. Um, yeah, and pork. Yeah, so meat, pork, chicken, like that's the only thing I've cut out. I still eat eggs, I still eat dairy, even though I'm lactose. It's just so good. Like, and then I still eat fish, shrimp, shellfish, um, and like after everything else. So like I don't know if Ethiopian would I still enjoy it if I'm not able to have the meat. Mavinka, a true bear eating salmon fresh out of the river. Yes. I love salmon. I love it a lot. So, yes. And also, I'm trying really hard to pronounce it correctly. Because for the longest time, I pronounced it salmon. And I didn't know that that was the incorrect pronunciation until someone was like, "What did you just say?" And I'm like, "Salmon." And they're like, "You're not supposed to pronounce the L." I don't know if that is that just an American thing or like or does everyone like do y'all say the L in salmon? Cuz I naturally do that until like now I'm trying to actively say like not say the L. Salmon, salmon. You don't say the L either? Okay. Kureketa food accessibly in Mexico getting vegan stuff is still expensive at least in my city and I love vegan food even though I'm not vegan. Oh my god. So yeah, like my partner's vegan. We go to a vegan Mexican spot. I won't say the name, but it is so good. Like I don't know what they use for their fake meat. I have no idea. You know what? I know one. One is jackfruit. Jackfruit is one of the most popular kind of like things to use as like fake meat. And they obviously don't use like Beyond. Or we have like Beyond and Impossible burgers here. Beyond and Impossible meat. Um, it's not that because I know what that tastes like, and I like it because I grew up on processed foods. But it's not that. I don't know what they use. I think it's like um, there's something called seitan, which is like wheat. Is it wheat gluten or something? It's some kind of wheat, and you can knead it. You can like knead it with your fingers into something that kind of resembles meat, but it's wheat. And my partner likes to call it Satan. And actually, my dad also calls it Satan, but I think that's just his accent. But yeah. Oh yeah. So we were also talking about like the pronunciation of salmon, salmon, salmonella poisoning. I'm not getting enough pigment. There we go. There we go. Let's cover up some of the pencil marks here. I was saying earlier, Kudaketa, that I'm in a part of the U.S. that is readily like Mexican food is readily available. So like I grew up on that. I love it. Love it. Oh, Mega Bronson, my friend was talking about someone with an accent saying hippopotamus. My mom just talked to me about like how she can't say that word properly. I love the Filipino pronunciation. Wait, I think that's the proper pronunciation in some languages. And she was like, I think the person who said it was Filipino, and she was like, it's me thinking of my family. Yeah, so my mom says it hippopotamus. Like, I love that. It's not hippopotamus, it's hippopotamus. I love it. But yeah, I don't. What if that is the proper pronunciation? Like, I just found out like somewhat recently that the way that we've been pronouncing Greek gods is wrong, or not wrong, but like the way that they say it in like Greek. Like it's different than how you say it like in an American accent. I love vegan ice cream. It's so freaking good, but my wallet. Yeah, vegan food is not always affordable unless you like just make it at home yourself. It's not always affordable. That's exactly how my preference. Yeah, that's how my mom says it. Hippopotamus. Another thing that my mom can't like that my mom said that she like can't say the American way is comforter. Like you know the blankie that you put on top or like yeah, just a blankie. She says comforter. Or if I put the accent on comforter. Comforter. It depends on the name though. Some Greek pronunciations are the same. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Comforter. Yeah, I remember listening to someone pronounce the Greek gods' names. Hold on, I'm trying to. I should actually do art on this art stream. Like instead of Zeus, it's Zeus. Instead of Hera, Hera. Like the H is a little bit more silent. What else? Hermes, Aphrodite instead of Aphrodite. Dionysus. Oh, I didn't even put the music back on. What am I doing? Here we go. Also, it's still kind of soft because I didn't want it to blow out my ears. Is that audible? Can you hear that? Or do I need to increase it on my end? Every time you talk about Set, the Egyptian god, I go, my favorite god is Puset. Can I tell you guys a Filipino joke? There's a little bit of delay on my camera, but let's see if I could tell this joke. So the Filipino word for octopus is pusit. Pusit, right? Like with an I. So like this is pusit. Right? This is pusit. What's this? What's this? Opposite. Just like everyone logs off my stream. Just everyone clicks off. Like, I will never sponsor. I will never support Bibinka Bear again. One more time. This is pusit. This is the Filipino word for octopus. This is opposite. All right. Thanks for stopping by, Mecha Bronson. It's just the SpongeBob meme, like, alright, I'm out. I'm out of here. This is what your stream has become. Puns. Now let's do some art in this art stream. Let's do some fire. Oh yeah, I adjusted the volume levels on the music, so let me know if it's a little too overpowering or if it's Gucci. Gucci smoochy. Get some fire in there. Sounds good? Awesome. In Spanish, basically the Greek pronunciation has some names has changes. So Aphrodite is like Aphrodita. Athena is Oh, that's interesting because I believe in the Philippines there's a university called Ateneo with an O at the end. I wonder if it's like connected to like like Athena. Cause yeah, it's called like Ateneo, and I just know it because like I don't know, someone from the Philippines please correct me, or someone that knows correct me, but like it seems like it's one of those big deal schools, like one of those famous. I don't know if it's private or public. I used to know this because my mom would be like, oh yeah, like she would tell me about like the rivalry that it has with is it like University of Manila or something? But that's, I have never made that connection before. So Ateneo maybe might be connected to the name of Athena then. Okay, how should I do the I want this to actually be white, and the brown is more like shading. Maybe just this needs more pigment. Oh my god, that's a lot. Oh, it's kind of watery though. No. This could turn into a cool effect though. Let's see. Let's try it out. Ah, no. It's okay. It's okay. I did say that I wanted the hat to be more white and the brown to be more like shading, so I get what I want. But it's just surprising when so much of it is just like, ah. Oh, and that's definitely gonna dry like like pretty wet. Ateneo is a common name for schools because it foments the study of science. Oh, TLDR. Oh, it basically means academy. Okay, okay. Oh, interesting. Cool, cool. I'm learning a lot right now. I'm learning a lot about like different names and like how things are said in different languages. That's pretty cool. God, I need to practice my light logic a little bit more. Man, the Digimon music always hits. Yeah, I definitely need to practice a little bit of light logic, just because, like, I don't really know how to shade that well, but we try, we try. Okay, I do want to try out this marker. It's a little bit of a darker brown. Oh yeah, that's right. I need to fix the fingers. This is kind of like the thumb. Actually, while I'm at it, let's go ahead and outline the grub. I'm gonna put some highlights on that as well. But do I have a darker gray? No, you know what? I'm just gonna use this color again. But put a little bit more white. I'm gonna put a little bit more white in like the non-shadow area of the little pan or bowl or whatever the hell I actually made here. More pigment. More pigment. There you go. I owe all my mythology knowledge to Saint Seiya, and my favorite game, Smite Mythology, is fun. Yeah, it really is. I haven't... Saint Seiya. So, okay, so first of all, before I get too sidetracked, Kuraketa, I checked out, and Now We Will Learn Ethics, the manga that... It was you that recommended it, right? or like from now on we learn ethics. I marathon, like not marathon, but like I just like speed read through like the whole thing. I loved it. And I also started on Fire Punch. I didn't catch up quite yet. I think I'm on chapter 40. Or not catch up, I'm pretty sure it's done, but, or I don't know if it's done, but I'm on chapter 40, and I know that the site that I'm using, it stops at chapter 40. No, it stops at chapter like 80 something. So I guess I'm like halfway through. Oh, both are so good. Thank you for the recommendations. I love both of them, and like I don't know if you're familiar with a certain streamer, Lex Parte, but there's something about the ethics teacher that like it's not even the same hair, or like it just gives me like Lex Parte vibes. Like, but yeah, if you know, you know. But yeah, like I got those vibes from that. But like aside from that, God, it was really good. I liked it. Fire Punch. Okay, I could already tell it's gonna get like super depressing. Like it's already pretty like hard to swallow. Like it's already at that point. Yeah, it's such a hidden gem. Yeah. Oh wait, this is not the color that I wanted. Okay, this is the darker brown that I wanted. This will be a chopping board. Oh, you know what? This part should also be... You can't really see it that well. Let me see if I can move this. Okay, so yeah, talking about like those mangas, they were great. Saint Seiya, I think it had a different name in the States. I think it was called, was it Knights of the Zodiac? Was that the same thing as Saint Seiya? Because it definitely had a different name in the dub, in the American dub. Oh, you know what? No, wait. Am I confusing it with Ronin Warriors? No. Those are different. Okay, Ronin Warriors was its own thing. Saint Seiya, I believe, was dubbed as like something like Knights of the Zodiac. And I didn't watch it that much because I've told Beans this, but like when I was smaller, when I was little, I definitely like fell into the trap of like, oh, I should watch things that are girly, you know, that are like feminine and like, which oddly enough, like the exceptions were like, I don't know, like Digimon and what else? What else did I watch that wasn't like quote unquote like girly? Now I feel like Digimon kind of like appealed to all genders, but I don't know. That's the reason why I didn't check out certain things that I wish I did check out more. Like Batman the Animated Series was playing a lot when I was a kid. I wish I checked it out more, but I did get into Batman comics like into my adulthood. Yeah, Knights of the Zodiac here in Mexico, it was called like that, but translated Caballeros del Zodiaco? Zodiaco. But kept Saint Seiya before. Oh, I see. I wanted to get into it when I learned that there was you know, like I was definitely into astrology as a kid. And kind of a little bit into adulthood, but I don't take it super seriously as like, oh, what a Scorpio thing to say. But I remember learning that there's a 13th constellation within the zodiac called Ophiuchus, the serpent, or I think the serpent handler or the serpent holder. And then I remember when I like Googled it, one of the first results was there was, I think, a warrior for Ophiuchus. So, oh yeah, this is that soundbite. That was one of the things that I remember from it. I think I wanted to get more into it, but I think by that point it wasn't airing anymore on like US TV, and I didn't know where to like find it or watch it. And I don't know how the dub did in terms of like, I don't know, like that time period, the dubs are very hit or miss. You know, like it could easily be like an amazing dub, or wait, was that really the case? I'm trying to remember now, like, were there any like actual dubs that were more hit than miss? I was singing the praises for the Digimon dub, but now I'm like, was it? Was it? Oh, because of four. Now I'm gonna look this up now. Was it 4Kids that dubbed Knights of the Zodiac? Or sorry, Saint Seiya? Cause that would explain a lot. Okay, list of Saint Seiya episodes. Knights of the Zodiac, Saint Seiya. I'm looking this up now. I wouldn't be surprised though. I wouldn't be surprised if it was dubbed by 4Kids because they were trying to take everything they could. Toy animation. Oh, my scroll button, my scroll button. Okay. Oh yeah, this is 2019. In North America, Saint Seiya was licensed by Deke Entertainment. Two English dubs were produced. One was produced in Toronto by Deke, renamed Knights of the Zodiac, and broadcast. Yeah, so broadcast on Cartoon Network. This dub lasted for 40 episodes. The other dub, produced by ADV Films in Houston, Texas, was fully uncut and lasted for 60 episodes. Oh, okay. So it was Deke, D-I-C. They're the same company that I believe did Sailor Moon. So, like, I feel like they weren't... I actually don't know if they were as bad as 4Kids. I do remember that they did dub Sailor Moon, and, you know, that was the dub where they, like, change... That's right. They dubbed Sailor Moon, and they're infamous for doing the whole, like... Sailor Neptune and Sailor Uranus, they're not lovers, they're cousins. So, yeah, they... That's definitely something that they could have easily done. You know what? Brown, brown, brown. Let's do brown. Because... So this bear is actually a sloth bear, by the way. They're a very fluffy type of bear. They eat bugs. That's why I wanted grub bear for this one. I wanted grub bear to be a fluffy sloth bear. And they have a marking on their chest. Kind of like me. I have a marking on my chest. You see on my... If you look at my model, I have a little like patch of fur that's a little lighter. Same thing with this guy. But yeah, Deke dubbed that's pretty interesting. So they dubbed something that was more for like a female audience and something that was more for a male audience. And also, like, the Sailor Moon dub, they had, like, Americanized names. So now that's making me think, like, did they do the same for... Well, it's Knights of the Zodiac, it's not Saint Seiya. So they probably did that whole thing of, like, oh, we gotta Americanize it. Because the kids aren't gonna know, like... they're not gonna know Japanese names. Yeah, this is totally a jelly donut. I'm, like, looking at the wiki, wondering if, like... If I can find, like, the dub names. Okay, so light source. I'm really bad at that, but let's... Fuck it, we ball. No, I have to do the Bob Ross thing. I have to do, like, this is my, my courage test. I just gotta get in there and just shade. Getting in there with the dark brown. They keep shaking the camera. Let me move my stuff a little bit. There we go. It looks like he has little freckles, so let me actually make these a little bit bigger. Saint Seiya is one of those series Toei has handled very poorly with the recent live-action movie and the CGI series released on Netflix. They are awful. Oh, I saw. Okay, when I looked up Saint Seiya, I saw that it had like a 2023 release, and I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. But dang, that sucks because like it seems like it has a really cool concept, you know, like it's based off like constellations and stuff. Like you would hope that like it wouldn't be fumbled so badly, but is the manga like? It comes from like a manga, right? Like that's the original? Or is it one of those things where it's like the manga was like from the anime? Funny enough, the protagonist is Makenyu, the actor for... Oh! Interesting. I do want to check it out because I am into like astronomy and stuff like constellations and I don't know, that seems like it would be a part of it, like the mythology of things. I do want to get into it. And then like as I was talking about like a cool concept but kind of sort of fumbled. I wouldn't call it fumbled because it's like have any of you in chat heard of a series called oh no, wait. I'm thinking of two different anime. I'm going to try and get the right. No, I remember. Seikon no Quasar. Quasar of the Stigmata. Has anyone in chat heard of that anime? Because it's an interesting one because I think it has one of the coolest concepts, but it's kind of like Food Wars, Shokugeki no Soma, in that like there's just one thing that like completely destroys it. Like as being like a serious anime that you could take for serious. The manga is okay, but I grew up with the anime, so I recommended the anime before the manga. Ah, okay. I'd be down to check it out. Because it also has that classic kind of like the manga, at least, it looks like it has that classic 90s look to it. But yeah, if you guys are not familiar with this almost infamous anime called Seikon no Quasar, the concept is God, how do I talk about this one? Seikon no Quasar. Yeah, it's pretty hard ecchi, yes. And it has such a cool concept for an ecchi anime because what it is that like these people are in like a magical fight, essentially. It's one of those like, oh, they're in a magical tournament, kind of like how Fate is like, it's a magical tournament but with historical and cultural figures. So this is a magical tournament, but everyone's powers, this is the cool concept here, everyone's powers are based off of elements from the periodic table of elements. So you have someone that can control copper and they use it like in conjunction with electricity, for example. There's someone who can control iron to make things like swords. There's someone who can use oxygen to like make things explode, and that is such a sick concept. But it's an ecchi anime, and the way that it's an ecchi anime is they're called quasars. These yes, you got it, Kuriketa. So like they have these awesome powers, but the way they power it is with something called soma. Soma is an actual thing in like mythology as like, you know, like life force or stuff like that. But in this anime, it is what comes out of the boobies. The quasars have to consume what comes out of the boobies. Yes. So, I'll try not to say anymore because I don't know if I'll get bonked by Twitch for saying such things, but yep. Like, it's such a cool concept, but like they had to make it so that it's like, oh, but it's powered by that. And of course they're gonna show the characters like powering themselves up, right? And it kind of reminds me though that like, you know, Fate started out like as like an H game. So it's like, oh, I wish like they brought back Quasar of the Stigmata, but like without without that. But I somehow doubt it. So, but yeah, that's a like a top example for me of like such a cool concept kind of fumbled by like other aspects. Cause like, isn't that cool? Like they fight using like the elements from periodic table of elements. There's so many opportunities where you can use like really cool writing, really cool like fights and techniques and stuff. But nope, it's an ecchi anime. Tis a shame, really. My guilty pleasure of ecchi anime is High School DxD. I love the real plot of it. The light novels are really good. I've also had another friend recommend that one to me. And he also kind of started off with like one of those like, trust me, bro. Like just trust me on this. I know when you watch it, it's not gonna seem like it, but I promise you, it's really good. And to this day, I haven't really like watched it yet, but you know, if that's two people already that have recommended it to me, so you know. God, I put the circles under his eyes and he just looks so angry now. Instead of just like, what should I do with this grub? Now it's like, I'm gonna cook you good. Trust, the first opening and ending are really sussy, but trust. Okay, I'll take your word for it. I mean, you did recommend the ethics one and Fire Punch, so I'm super down for it. Damn, this bear's like, I'm gonna cook the fuck out of you. Let me go ahead and put some outlines. Ooh, that's I don't know if that's ASMR or not. It's kind of scratchy. Actually, I'm gonna take out those dark circles under the eyes. It makes them look a little too, like, angry. actually. How about I do this? Not really ecchi, but my favorite anime light novel right now. Oh, I've heard of Mushoku Tensei. I heard that it was like one of the earliest. Correct me if I'm wrong, but like one of the earliest isekai light novels. But it's only been adapted like very recently. Like in comparison to like other isekai light novels. That it's actually like one of the earlier ones. It's such a good story. The world building is perfect. Sadly, I get why people get put off by the MC. Yeah, I used to watch a lot of those anime YouTubers that kind of like review every anime every season, essentially. Actually, I think I just saw one on my For You page on YouTube recently, so I might watch that soon. But I would watch people like Giguk, or I don't know if you're supposed to say Giguk, Gig UK. Who else? Super Eye Patch Wolf, Mother's Basement, and like I think every single one of them has talked about Mushoku Tensei. But they also have that. Oh, you know what? This isn't even dry yet, so I'm gonna leave that alone. Basically, made a lot of tropes in current isekais. Yeah, that's what I heard. That's what I heard. Oh, this is also running out of pigment. Let me put this maybe here. No, you know what? I'm gonna go back to the pen. Yeah, so like I heard that Mushoku Tensei has like a protagonist that like he kind of starts out kind of sussy-wussy. From what I heard, that like, you know, he's reborn. That's like the whole like isekai thing. But you know, I think one of the first thing he does is like ogles his mom's boobies or something. Like, but then I heard that there's like other parts that are kind of sussy to the point where it's like a little bit uncomfortable. But I've also heard what you said, that like I've heard it from other people. Oh, I messed up that pen real bad. But I've heard people say that like it does have like, if you stick with it, the kind of sussiness lends itself to a lot of really good character building, because he does kind of like start out shitty, but then like after some character development he's just like, you know, less shitty. Yeah, MC is kind of a weirdo because 34. Yeah. But he improves in the path. Yeah, that's what I've heard too, is that like it kind of makes it. It's such a flawed MC, but I love it for it. Yeah. That's what I've heard as well. That like, because he's kind of sussy, because he does like kind of like disturbing things, like, or like, yeah. It gets better with the character development. Kind of doing whatever with the pan, but yeah, I don't like that. I'm gonna wait for that to dry and I'll redo that. But let's go back to the flame. Actually, no, let's go to the grub. Trying to think of other like animes that have that, like, it does a really good job of having like a flawed main character, kind of like Mushoku Tensei, but like it, you know, if you stick with it, it's kind of worth it. But what really got me is how the world doesn't live by the protagonist. The world moves even when the MC is not really doing stuff like that. I kind of like Overlord. I love Overlord. Yeah, I think that's another really good example of like just great like world building. And you also just reminded me of So I'm a Spider, So What? Like that to this day is still one of my favorite isekai anime. Cause for me it scratched that itch of like really good power progression or like level progression where like you're rooting for Kumoko the spider to like level up from like there was something very satisfying about it where it's like she starts out as this weak little like enemy character, but eventually like with each level up she becomes like more and more badass. They gave me that, and then I also, oh my god, Overlord just has so many characters that are so good. I know you mean actual character flaws, but Black Clover, a lot of people hate because of the yelling. I know I specifically said that I don't like it because of the yelling. Like, I think after the first episode, I just, like, couldn't take it. But I also heard that that's another, you know, sleeper hit, you know, not sleeper hit, but, like, another banger of a series. Like, it makes me wonder why people haven't yet said that it's like one of the newer of the big three. You know, like the shonen big three, like how in our generation it was like Bleach, Naruto, One Piece, and then since then it's kind of changed. But the new big three, or like all the candidates I've heard for the new big three are all like either ended or ending. Like, you know, Demon Slayer, the manga's already ended. Attack on Titan, that one's already ended. My Hero Academia, that one I'm not sure. I heard that it's ending, but I actually like am not entirely sure because I don't follow the manga for it. I just want to be the biggest streamer. Yeah, I hated the yelling, but my friend was just like, just keep watching it. Yeah, I would believe it. I would believe it. Yelling characters, the only thing that made me drop anime. Bakugo, Zenitsu. Oh, yeah. It's funny because, like, Zenitsu is, like, so, like, pretty obnoxious, but, like, I think my little brother legitimately likes him as a character. And this is before, like, you know, character development and such. For me, like, sorry, there was a air bubble stuck, but the one thing that I've been very like turned off by, like the anime trope I've been very turned off by, like just recently, because I used to not mind it as much, is like one, the pervert character, and two, like fan service. And I think the most egregious example of that is Fire Force. Like I really wanted to get more into Fire Force, and I got pretty, like, I'm pretty sure I got up to like season 2 of it, but there's this one character with the little cat ears, and like her whole shtick is that like her clothes just always come off. And to me that's like one of the laziest, like come on. We're just checking my text messages. Okay. Yeah, like that was like insufferable how it happened, because she was always like, oh oops, like trips, and then like just all her clothes just fall off. And like just hated it. And I feel like I used to be able to tolerate it back in the past, but nowadays I'm just like, oh, shut up. Stop it. The only reason I love Infinity Train movie of Demon Slayer Zenitsu only speaks for 5 minutes. Also Rengoku, my husband. Oh my god, I love Rengoku. The characters are just so good. Well, for the most part. Like, you know, like, there's so many good characters in Demon Slayer. Ah, this yellow is so watery. But it also makes for good highlights, now that I think about it. Or like really interesting highlights. Y'all don't accidentally get naked by tripping on things. Just imagine that for like a dude. Like, oh no, just boyoyo. Like just all your clothes just like float away. Just me? Okay. Wait, that's not normal. There's just been like an epidemic of like men tripping over and like all their clothes falling off, and I've just been blissfully like, God, I hate it when they put this in anime. Yeah, I need a better color for the brown. Or I could also just do that. Have I seen Zom 100? I've heard of that. That's another one of those series that was recommended by those like anime YouTubers, but I haven't seen it yet because what am I trying to see nowadays? What have I been watching nowadays? I feel like I haven't been watching a lot of anime, actually, now that I think about it. I've been wanting to watch the new season of Castlevania. I did hear that Zom 100 is really good. The manga, at least. I hear the anime, too, like, has some really good, like, art direction. At least, like I said, this is what I heard from, like, the anime, YouTubers. You know what? There should be water in the pan. That's what I'm missing. I'm watching the anime and I'm enjoying it, but as I told another friend, might just relate to it as a burnt out salaryman. Yeah, that's what I heard. I don't watch anime anymore unless it's Mushoku Tensei. I only read manga. I also only read manga because I feel like that's a little bit more like easier to, like, if you're slacking off from work, for example, like I always do. Like, it's a bit easier to get away with reading manga as opposed to like watching anime. I do miss watching anime though. There we go, he's making soup. He's making some kind of soup. Oh, okay, I need to outline the top of the chef's hat. Right now I'm in the Odyssey of Read. Oh my god, good luck. Me and Beans have been wanting to get into One Piece. It's become so iconic, and like, you know, it's been iconic since we were like middle schoolers, but you know, it's part of the big three. Y'all ready for the soundbite? Yeah. See, I can tell when it's coming now. But yeah, I want to get into it because I've heard like really good things, and you know, like Twitter has all of those clips of like the really like solid animation. He's making grub. He is in fact making grub. But like just the episode and chapter count for One Piece is just very intimidating. But a mutual friend of me, Beans and Mega Bronson, like he can tell when it's coming now. Yeah, I can tell when it's coming now. I've listened to this playlist so many times. And I've actually I did start out today's stream with a different playlist, but it just looped its way back to this one. Yeah, so the playlist that I started with was like a vaporwave one, because I've been in a very vaporwave kind of mood. Let me put that one back on. This one's called Miami Vice. Yeah, let me go ahead and change the text for the credit. Hi, Sime! Hello, welcome. Reading One Piece is fun. Today's another lore-heavy drop. Oh, One Piece for me has revitalized my love for shonen. There are some arcs that are just so freaking good. Yeah, that's why I want to check it out. It's just very intimidating with the chapter and the episode count. But it seems like one of those things that's worth it, you know? Because it's the same thing with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I feel like I spent around 2 months marathoning way back when the anime first came out. And that was well worth it, I want to say. The other thing that I ended up marathoning was... I keep saying marathoning, but like for manga. Like speed reading? I don't know. Berserk. I started reading Berserk couple years ago when Bean started reading it. Man, that was so worth it. Just treat it as a slow journey. Yeah. Well, now that I say that I did JoJo and Berserk, then I feel like maybe One Piece is doable. I read somewhere that like there's so many chapters now. It's gotten to the point where like if you read it, no matter what, I think it's still gonna take you like about a year or something. Or I don't know. Was it like a chapter a day? It's like a year. Is the music too loud, by the way, or is it fine? Because I'm looking at like my audio mixer, and it seems like we're at the same volume. Let me lower it just a smidge. Altair made me read Tegami Bachi for entire night. I've heard, is that the one where it's like a white-haired boy that's like delivering packages or mail? Because I remember that like a little bit of a Bibinka lore drop from I just dropped the water bottle. Oh, so it is that one. Yeah, a little bit of a lore drop from I keep dropping my water bottle. From like my early 20s. I was on LiveJournal a lot, and I used to make PFPs, and back then we just called it icons of like different animes, and I had my own like icon making community, as they called it back then. And there's a whole bunch of anime that I saw around that time, but I never actually watched. But like the imagery of it, you saw it in everyone's like PFPs, so Tegami Bachi was one of them. You would see a lot of people with PFPs of like the main character from Tegami Bachi. Or characters. I just remember like a white-haired kid with like a blue hat. What were some other ones? Actually, I'm pretty sure my community is still up. I just don't want to link it because there is some... I don't think you... Like, even if you have access to this account, I don't know if you could like find information that could dox me, but I want to play it safe, so... But I'm gonna look back on my on my icon community. It wasn't even like an art community. It was like just me making PFPs out of like anime screenshots. Here we go. Penguin Drum. Penguin Drum was one of the ones from that same era. Oh, what did it refresh? I'm also just like letting this dry. Ooh, I think I know what to add to this actually. Some light colors. Okay, now it refreshed and it's not showing me the anime I want to show. Penguin Drum. Oh, Hetalia. Oh gosh, that was my that was my hyperfixation back then. I feel like most of my hyperfixations were like just different different time periods where I was into Digimon. But then like they would be interspersed with like a random ass like series. Like I can't say that I was like fixated on Homestuck, but I did read it. But around that same time it was Hetalia for me. I'm so late with Hetalia. Nah, man, you're just in time. You like avoided. If you're getting into it now, or if you're getting into it after like its heyday back in the 2010s, it's a good thing because you didn't have to deal with the conventions where people did problematic stuff on behalf of the Hetalia characters. Okay, so Mawaru Penguin Drum, Uta no Prince Sama, that was another one. Mirai Nikki, Future Diary. Persona 4 was big during this time. Tiger and Bunny, that was another one. Kaiji. Let's see, Umineko. I love Umineko. Sea Gang is there and suddenly everyone became nationalist. Every time I hear about Italia, it makes me think of a rabbit hole I'm glad I didn't get into. Probably for the best. Like, probably for the best. Okay, Seamei's comment is making me laugh so much. Sea Gang is there and suddenly everyone became a nationalist. God, yeah, that was kind of late into the game too. Like, I think the heyday of Hetalia was already over by then. But then that's when the author revealed like the Southeast Asian countries, which like for the longest time I remember it was just Thailand and Vietnam for a while. And the author had a blog and they sketched out Vietnam, who is this she's a female. She's wearing, I believe it's an ao dai. I don't know the tones for it. I'm not really good with tonal languages, but she's wearing the ao dai. But I remember one time he sketched it and everyone swore that that was the Philippines. Like there were so many people that was like, you know, like, oh, could this be the hidden design for Philippines? And then it wasn't until years later that the author finally like made an actual character for Philippines that people were awaiting. And I believe he made like the entire Southeast Asia gang. Like did he make like Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, all of those, I believe? So a part of me was like, man, if he did that like much earlier, the fandom would have gone like even crazier than it already did. And it was already pretty damn crazy. Yeah, good times. I feel like my very first like cosplay like meetups were because of Hetalia. Not everyone yet. Now I'm curious, who did he make and who did he not make? Not make, but you know, like make like characters for. So Southeast Asia, Hetalia. And kind of like, I feel like I mentioned this on stream, but like I got into art history like around the same time I got into Assassin's Creed, and that helped me like remember a lot of things about art history. I got into Hetalia around the same time. I was still in high school, and that's how I got into history, basically. And I was really good at European geography because of it, but still, that fandom is cursed. Let's see, Southeast Asian characters in Hetalia. So we got Philippines, Vietnam, Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand. Okay, so it's just those 6, right? It's just those 6? I'm glad Indonesia's massive landmass is huge. Let me see. Ooh, oh yeah, these are the designs. Very cool. Yeah, the designs are really nice. Oh, I accidentally scratched I was like rubbing my eye and I scratched it a little too much, so I'm gonna go put in some eye drops, but I'll be back. Alright, let's get back to the actual art in this art stream. I keep getting sidetracked. But they're good tangents. They're always good tangents. There we go. Let's go ahead and add to the flames, the fire and the flames. This music is making me want to play Cyberpunk, which, like, the DLC came out a little recently, and Beans has definitely been, like, telling me how good it is. And I love Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk is definitely, like, despite its kind of, like, rough start, I'd say it's one of my, like, top 10 favorite video games as of right now. I just love the role-playing games a lot. Yeah, did any of you catch Randon's Fear and Hunger stream? I was out at work. I was out at a work site today for a special event, so I couldn't catch it, but how unhinged was it? I feel like asking that for a random stream is always just like, yes. Only 1 hour, really, for the DLC? Because Beans has been playing it for a bit. Well, to be honest, okay, so when I play a game, I 100% it. So like, by the time I actually stopped right before the DLC came out. I pretty much like 100% it. Oh, sorry. You probably meant something else. The stream I only oh, you only watched 1 hour. Okay, okay. Ah, okay. I saw a little bit of it before I started streaming, but then I saw that Big Ham went live and I wanted to watch her stream. But I'll probably catch up tomorrow since Randon. Oh yeah, Randon's not streaming anyway, so that's a good time to catch up on the VOD. But I'm willing to bet it was pretty unhinged. I mean, when is it not, you know? God, I need a color that's like not as dark as black, but not as light as this gray color, because maybe... Should I try blue? Let's try it. It's him, always unhinged. Yeah, for real. Yeah, like, just when is he not? Maybe not blue. Maybe not blue. Oh yeah, so there was originally some herbs, some greenery here. Let me put that back in. Oh, it's already been 2 hours? I'll probably call it, like, pretty soonish. Might just want to add some highlights to this guy. To the little grub bear. Wait, what was this? I think this was Rosemary. Let me see what Rosemary looks like again. Rosemary. Ah, okay. Yeah, since I work from home tomorrow, that means I finally have some time to catch up on both streams. As well as I'm gonna watch Matara. God, I love her so much. For those who don't know, she's a new VTuber under the agency V Shoujo. She's amazing. She's a cockroach. She's an ipis. But I love her. I'm gonna be watching that, and I've also been watching more of. Have y'all heard of a YouTuber named Wendigoon? He does like these horror themed video essays. And they're pretty good because, like, a lot of them are upwards of, like, 1 to 2 hours long. Kenko crosses a mama. Yeah! Kenko crosses a mama now. What a concept. God, I didn't think I'd be into, like, I mean, not into, but, like, the concept of, like, a cockroach, like, monster girl. Didn't think I would like it that much. But then again, like, I for any like fellow Vesper fans here, you know, like, it's funny how, like, you know, Morph kind of just opens a lot of doors. Nah, I can't say I'm into it, but I will say I do love Matara's design a lot, and like it kind of reminds me of yeah, reminds me of so that anime that I mentioned before, So I'm a spider, so what? The main character Kumoko? I it's like this is gonna sound like a shit post, but I swear I'm being serious. I'm pretty sure she cured my arachnophobia. The rigging on Mataru's face is so cute. Yes, fully agree, Grace. Fully agree. But yeah, like legit, Kumoko from that isekai anime, like So I'm a Spider, So What? Like legit cured my arachnophobia, because I used to be like really freaked out by like even like tiny spiders, like daddy long legs, but now I don't like. I'm not scared of them, and even like if I saw like a video of a tarantula, I would get freaked out by it, and like now I can kind of tolerate it. The only spiders that really kind of like scare me are the ones that like are obviously like is it venomous, right? Not poisonous. Poisonous is if you eat it and you die, it's poisonous. But if it bites you, anyway, it's just like I believe it's called like the brown recluse and like what's that other one? Black widows? Like those are the only ones that really like actually scare me. The rest like not so much after like yeah, just not so much. And I really do feel like it's because of like Spider Monster Girl. And like I said, it sounds like a shit post, but that legitimately is what happened. With the big like bristles on this is looking more like peas, but that's okay. I think I'll just add some highlights and then I'll probably call it, because I think there's still some stuff that I definitely want to change around, but the Spider Girl from Monster Musume made me like spiders just a bit more. From Monster Musume, I'm checking it out. Monster Musume. Hey, I'm probably going for still another like 20-ish minutes just to put highlights and just to chat a little bit more. Oh, I remember Monster Musume. Yeah, I don't think I actually... This one had an anime, right? Like, I don't think I actually checked it out, but even though I do know Kenko Cross, but... Yeah, I'll still go on for a little bit more. I'm just trying to decide on highlights for the actual bear. You know what? We could use some... There you go. There you go. He looks a little less like frustrated and more like analytical, more like, what to do with this tasty grub. I don't know why that reminded me of that Simpsons clip. What's to be done with this Homer Simpson? That's another video essay I watched recently. If any of you like are aware of or follow Super Eye Patch Wolf, he came out with a video essay recently called The Simpsons is Good Again. And it's kind of a follow-up to like just based like a recent, you know, like fairly recent discourse about how like, you know, The Simpsons has gotten so bad compared to like how it was in the 90s and all of that. And he even like did a video essay on like the drop in quality of like writing and all of that. And then this video essay is kind of like a follow-up to that, and how like, yeah, arguably some aspects of The Simpsons have gotten good again. Yeah, it had an anime, the anime that awoke a lot of monster kissers in the community. So true, bestie. Yeah, I don't know when I started liking like the whole like monster girl thing. Like I do consider myself a fellow monster hugger. I don't know when it started, but it did start. But I definitely feel like Kumoko was definitely one of those that was like, oh man, yeah, like I love her. Not even in like a sexual way. Because I am happily taken, but like... I don't know, something about her design was just like, I love her. Her hero's journey, so to speak. Another favorite, another like waifu, is definitely Albedo from I was about to say Overwatch, not Overwatch, Overlord. Overlord. I kind of like Albedo. I like that she tries like so hard to be like she kind of is yandere and she tries so hard, but like she's also kind of pathetic in a way. Isn't there like a meme or a gif that's like, you're really pathetic? I love that in a guy. But in this case, it's like Albedo. It's like, you're really pathetic. I love that in a gal. I just know that anime made me simp for Lamias. Yeah, I could see that. I'm already a tentacle enjoyer since day one. It's an easy slope. Fail girl, there we go. What's this about sexy things in Overwatch? Now we're talking about monster girls now. I was saying like one of the characters from Overlord, but my mind was like Overwatch. But I don't know, it doesn't seem like there's any like monster girls in Overwatch unless you count their skins, right? Like I'm sure there's like some Halloween skins. Oh cool, I just got a text from Beans. He's on his way back from class. Yeah, there was something else that made me think of the whole like, oh man, that's pathetic. I like that in a gal, or I like that in a guy. I don't know if it was like a random stream where he did something that was just like, damn, that's like hilariously pathetic. I think it's like, I don't know, I feel like he's definitely been like whimpering a lot. like randoneering, that is. And it wasn't like, oh, I'm into that. It was more of like, that's hilarious. Oh, you know what? Add a little bit of razzle-dazzle to the cheeks. There we go. And let's put some yellow into the fire. There's a bunch of Halloween skins and fantasy skins. Have Beans walk you through them. They dropped some Greek god ones. Yeah, I saw some of those. They look really cool. I don't know if Beans has mentioned it, but like I wish I could get more into stuff like Overwatch. But it's like I'm just very intimidated by any PvP shooter, like like competitive like first person shooters. Just cuz like I don't know, like I think it was like back in the day I used to play with a friend of mine. We used to play Halo, and like my dexterity on a controller is just not that great. Like, as for monster girls, I feel like I'm into very normal like vamp stuff. Yes. Like it's kind of cute though. Vamp stuff, or like I don't know, like yeah, the like Halloween horror monsters. Yeah. Competitive games can feel kind of toxic without playing with friends. I miss 2016 to 2018 Overwatch, such good memories. Yeah, like I never like I'm just really bad at like to rewind. I do feel like my dexterity with video games is just not that great. That's why I prefer more like PvE. Like I can do multiplayer games if it's PvE, like if it's working together to like get rid of. Yes, I think that is the friend that you're thinking of. Yes, it is. Yeah, back in the day we used to play Halo together, and like she was really good at it, but I was very not. And like I feel like it really was just a matter of like if I just stuck to it in practice, I probably could have gotten get good, you know. But I don't know, just like I think I'm just shy. And kind of like what Mannerism said, like it can get kind of toxic, and I just personally can't always handle like Like, I've seen y'all like Mega Bronson when y'all play with like super toxic people and you kind of just like, sometimes it's just like you get a laugh out of it, or like sometimes it's just not even worth engaging, but I feel like that's the kind of thing that would affect me for the rest of the day. It'd be like, damn, he called me a scrub, or he called me a slur, or he called me a blah blah blah. I am not getting over this. I always make fun of her for, yeah, she... Imagine she's in the chat right now. She's like, Halo? Hop on? Hopcon? I'm hopping? Yeah, for context, we're talking about a mutual friend of ours, IRL friend, who was like really good. She like plays Halo a lot. She's really good at it. And I love the Halo series. I actually really like, because that's what I played with Beans a lot. We actually played PvE together. And that's a good example of what I was talking about. For games that are multiplayer but like PvE, I feel like I can get behind that. It used to affect me like that, but I think playing with everyone has made comp games much more enjoyable. Alright, so that's a fair point. That's a fair point too. I think that's why I ended up not like getting too much into Final Fantasy 16. Or no, wait, the 14? 14. I did get into it and I love the MMO aspect of it, but I would get anxious by like, I don't think anyone was ever toxic to me, but like the idea of like failing people, like the idea of like, oh, I didn't pull enough people, or I didn't heal enough, or I didn't do enough damage, and like now people are yelling at me through the chat. Like that's never actually happened, but that's definitely one of those like anxiety things that's like, oh, I don't know if I can get into this. I love toxic people in MOBAs. They're the most laughable people I know. Such losers. Yeah. Like I've seen people like on Beans's whenever Beans plays Overwatch, I've seen like the screen, and whenever there's like toxic people, it is more laughable. So maybe it is something that I can try, but I don't know. And also I wonder if it's just something of like, if I get more confident in it, then yeah, maybe like toxic people won't affect me as much. Because I remember I did temporarily get into, like, for Final Fantasy 14, there was a PvP, there was, like, the crystal one, and I sucked at it, but, like, I was having so much fun that I didn't really care, and, like, but also for the PvP, the crystal, whatever the heck it was called, there wasn't really any way that you could be toxic, because they limit, like, you couldn't chat with people, you could just do, like, certain commands. At least from what I remember. And there are ways that you could be like passive-aggressively toxic, like spam a certain like command, but I don't know, it just hit different, as the kids say. So maybe one of these days I'll check it out, I'll get into it. Cause I know Beans and Mega Bronson and company, they're super cracked at Overwatch. Y'all should check them out. Alright, wonder if that's it. You know what? I'll just go over one more thing with some like white highlights. I want the grub to shine. There we go. Don't lie to these kind people. Well, I also have no frame of reference, so... But I don't know, sometimes it seems like you guys get the dubs, as the kids say, right? Right? You get the dubs. There we go. I think that's one of the last touches that I wanted to put. And maybe one more thing for these like sprigs. In a way, moderate toxicity in competitive games makes me know that at least people care to win, which I appreciate in some way. Yeah, that's also a good way to think about it. I remember when I was like worried about— oh, this is so watery. Okay. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, I have a solution for this. I put this aside. Take off the clip. Luckily, it was just a scratch piece of paper. It wasn't like the next sketch over. There we go. What was I talking about? We were talking about toxicity. Your toxicity in the city. Oh yeah, that like, you know, like the people care to win, and maybe that's also a sign that you're just like doing really good. When people are just like insulting you, that like they're molding so hard because you're just so good. There we go. I think I like that. The yellow. I can't play competitive because I keep internalizing myself in a bad way. Yeah, that's what I mean. I like, same here. Like, I feel like it'll just affect me too much. And, you know, maybe I'll get to a point where it doesn't. But as of right now, nah. I'm good with watching, though. I'm down to keep watching. If it's the enemy team being toxic, I feed off it. It's like the when it's my teammates, I'm baby. Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think of like what multiplayer games I've actually like played before. Alright, to Steam. To Steam with you. Because I can't really think of a multiplayer game that I played, enjoyed, and was like really good at, you know? I remember one time, one of my like IRL friends, we played, back when Assassin's Creed had like multiplayer, we played it for a little bit, and that was the first time I felt like I was like good at a multiplayer game. But it was just for like, I think we played it once and that was kind of it. Speaking of which, though, I think that is the next time I'm gonna be streaming. I'm gonna be playing Assassin's Creed again, but there's also so many games I do want to play. I might actually add another streaming day to my schedule, because as of right now, my stream schedule is just 3 days out of the week. It's Monday, I do these POSCA art streams. I tried to do Wednesday, but I was too tired from the office to really like give a good stream. So then I moved it to Thursday, which is now like Valhalla Day. And then Saturday has become kind of a variety. So last time it was tarot, but I'm thinking this Saturday it'll be hieroglyphic learning. So, yeah. Yeah, so I think I will kind of call it here. Here's what we ended up with. We have our chef bear cooking up a grub. Quite literally a grub. He's cooking up some grub. There's some things that I think I did imperfectly, but like, you know, fuck it. He also has a sprig of rosemary here, so who knows what he's cooking. But, you know, let him cook. Let him cook. So, alright, let me go ahead and stop the music. But yeah, so like I said, I think the next time I'll stream is either gonna be Thursday, or I'm gonna try and fit maybe I'll stream tomorrow even. Like, there's so many games I want to play, but tomorrow's gonna be a video game stream. If I do stream tomorrow. Wednesday, probably not, because I'm gonna be going to the office. Thursday, probably Valhalla, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And then on Saturday, we're gonna be studying some hieroglyphs. So, like, I have 2 books. I have one to study Egyptian hieroglyphs. Oh, my camera is so, like, there we go. How to read Egyptian hieroglyphs. Or Maya. And then we'll start up again next Monday with another art stream. But thank you everyone for stopping by. Thank you for the conversations, for the follows and everything. Y'all are always so nice and so sweet. So I love it. I love it. So, all right, let me go to my ending screen. And then let me look for someone to raid into. Bouncy, bouncy. All right, let's see. Who do I raid? Who do I raid? Who is live right now? Oh, I'm not seeing anyone. I guess Big Ham already stopped streaming. Let me refresh. Yeah, you have a good night too. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Yeah, I don't see anyone. Unless anyone, do any of you have any names that you would want me to raid? Because I don't have anyone live on my friends list right now. If not, I'll give y'all like a couple more seconds to respond. Otherwise, I'm just gonna go ahead and end the stream. Otherwise, once again, thank you everyone. I'll see you next time, and I'll see you when... Oh, Evil Toaster. Let's see. Evil Toaster. Oh, cool. I think I've seen them. Have they collabed with, like, Lando, maybe? I feel like I've seen them before. Yeah, we can raid into Evil Toaster. Unfortunately, I don't know much about who they are. I just know that they might have collabed with some of the faves. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll lead you over into Evil Toaster. So thank you, everyone. And as always, I'll see ya when I see ya.